Apparently there's been a lot of noise about the red heifer lately. I wonder if you've heard of it. I certainly hadn't, so if it's new to you, join the club. What's all the excitement about? As part of the Jewish rituals, when a red heifer is sacrificed, the ashes of its burnt carcass are mixed with spring water, among other things, and this is used for ritual purification. And cleansing with this water is a prerequisite for priestly service in the temple. But the Jewish temple in Jerusalem was destroyed under the Romans a few decades after Jesus' ministry, and it's believed that there have only been 9 suitable red heifers sacrificed since the time of Moses. Now, although the Jews have not carried out ritual sacrifices for many centuries, there is apparently a project underway to raise and sacrifice a red heifer in the context of a larger ambition to rebuild a temple, the third Jewish temple, on a site that is currently occupied by the Islamic Dome of the Rock. And as if that weren't enough to cause a world of pain, many Christians believe that the building of this third temple is a prerequisite to the second coming of Jesus Christ. I've watched some of these videos, and to be quite honest, I can't watch them all the way through. They are toe-curling. Let's understand it for what it really is. The whole concept is based upon a single chapter in the Bible, Numbers chapter 19, which speaks of this red heifer and the rituals required to make this water of purification. Before Christians get involved in any of this, we need to remember what is written in the book of Hebrews in chapter 10. For the law, having a shadow of the good things to come, and not the very image of the things, can never, with these same sacrifices which they offer continually year by year, make those who approach perfect. You know, even in the Old Testament, in Hosea, we read, "For I desire mercy and not sacrifice, and the knowledge of God more than burnt offerings." In John's Gospel, there's an occasion where the disciples of John and the disciples of the Pharisees are debating about purification. And that debate is brought up in the context of the Lord Jesus Christ, who is baptizing. Baptism is the Christian symbol of purification. But even that is only a symbol. It affects nothing on its own. And one of Jesus' greatest criticisms of the Pharisees is their obsession with natural rituals which have nothing to do with the inner person. Matthew chapter 23, blind Pharisee, first cleanse the inside of the cup and dish, that the outside of them may be clean also. As I think about all of this, the thing that strikes me is the symbolism of this ritual. It's not that the ritual itself achieves anything, but it represents a process that must go on in our inner psychological, spiritual lives. It's to recognize that all of the activity, everything that we do in this world, all that busyness, none of it is any good unless it comes from a divine source. And it's that acknowledgement of good coming from the divine that makes us clean, not the washing of our bodies, no matter how magical the water. And the same is true of Christian baptism, the washing that replaced Jewish ritual purification. Unless we ourselves are prepared to acknowledge the divine activity in our lives, none of it has any effect on us whatsoever. I just want to point out the connection between the Hebrew word for red and the Hebrew word for ground and man and the name Adam. Because red meant good, in particular the good of the natural, the Jewish church, in which every single thing was representative of the Lord, and from this of his kingdom, and consequently of good and truth, which are the source of the Lord's kingdom, was therefore commanded to have a covering for the tabernacle of red ram skins. That church was also commanded to prepare the water for making atonement from the ashes of the red heifer that had been burnt. Unless the colour red had been a sign of something heavenly in the Lord's kingdom, it would never have been commanded that the rams should be red and that the heifer should be red. The fact that they represent sacred things, anyone acknowledges who considers the word to be sacred. You know, I look at all of this activity around the red heifer. I look at the propensity it has to cause so much trouble in the world. You know, now more than ever, we need to recognize those commands of the Old Testament not as having magical properties that if we fulfill this, suddenly the kingdom of the Lord is going to descend and make everything right. We have to recognize these as representative of principles that we must implement in each of our individual lives. If we are so focused on these external activities, religion's not going to save us. It's going to condemn us all. It's time for us to wake up.